Testing. Check. Check. One, two, three. Testing. Check.
Check, testing. Hello, 1 2 3. Hello, check. Hello, check. 1 2 3. Hello, check. Mic testing. 1 2 3. Hello, check. Live ஓகேவா? Check. 1 2 3. Check, testing. Check, testing. Hello, check. Check, testing. Hello, 1 2 3. Check. Check. Check, testing. Hello, 1 2 3. Hello, check. Mic 1 2 3. Hello, check. Testing.
ஹலோ செக் 1 2 3 கேக்குதா? ஹலோ சார் கேக்குதா? ஆன் பண்ணி தான் வச்சிருக்கேன்.
ஹலோ, கேட்குது சார்.
இப்போ கேட்குது, இப்போ கேட்குது.
கேட்குதா?
கேட்குது கேட்குது கேட்குது.
ம், சரி.
ஓகே, கிளியர் கிளியர். கேட்குது, இப்போ கேட்குது. நான் பேசுகிறேன் உங்களுக்கு கேட்குது. இப்போ திரும்ப பேசுங்க. ஹலோ.
சார் கேட்குதா?
கேட்குது கேட்குது.
Did I? Can you open? No, it's not going to be now. I want to have a look. Yeah. Don't play it yet. Just so we start. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I'll invite you. So, very good morning to all for this session. JCIR meets ISVR. So it's actually one of the initiatives our president and secretary have suggested. For the first time we are having this, and really grateful to the executive for having this first JCR meets ISVR kind of session. So I would now invite our president and also the founder editor of JCIR to give the welcome address.
Good morning, everybody. I consider this as a historical milestone for our society as well as for the journal. This is the first interaction what you are having officially. We saw this model during CERSI, where they had a separate dedicated meeting. And since this is the first meeting, I'm seeing less number of people sitting here. But over a period of the years, this is going to increase. And this also will be a motivation for us. So whom we are recognizing? We are recognizing the hardworking reviewers, and we are going to recognize the authors. And when reviewers and editors work, it is the work which is going to happen in the background. And reviewers, when they review, they don't know whose article they are seeing, and even the authors, they don't know, because it's a purely peer-reviewed process. And for the editor, I know how much is the workload involved. Every day, Dr. Naveen Kalra and Dr. Sanjeeva Kalwa will be spending time, their valuable time, and it's purely honorary. Purely honorary, because there is no payment done for this. At the same time, if you see some of the journals, including the very famous journals, they charge APC, article publication fee. Some idea you may be having how much is the article publication fee. Initially, we may not be knowing also, because there is a charge. So we go to the level of submitting and reviewing everything, and suddenly you realize that you have to pay $1,000. People who are in overseas, it may be easy, but people who are from countries like India, it is not affordable. So we'll be searching for some other journal. So with this background, I thank Dr. Naveen Kalra, Sanjeeva Kalwa, and the entire editorial team for doing this hard work. And so this introduction, I'll hand over to Dr. Naveen Kalra for the rest of the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can we have the annual report? Go to the first slide. Go to the first slide. Yes, so put it in. Yes, so I'll briefly present the report of the journal. So, as we all are aware, journal start year is 2007, and the current volume is 9. We'll go on to the number 10 one, and the issues per year are 3. And as has been pointed out by Shyam sir, there are no article processing charges, and it's an open access journal. So I think that is one aspect we should capitalize on at present, because it's one of the very few open access journals, and it increases our readability and accessibility. And in the future slides, coming up slides, you'll see how this is actually helping us as well. So a brief look at the journal performance metrics. So this is a very heartening slide. I would say that you can see the number of submissions over the years is definitely increasing. So we have already crossed more than 100. So we were less than 100 in 2023, and now we are beyond 100. So that is one of the heartening aspect to note, that the submissions are definitely increasing. Then if you look at the article types, again, here is again a good trend that we see, that both original articles as well as case report submissions are increasing, which is definitely, again, very heartening, which, kind of underscores that we are definitely on the right track, though there is a lot of work still to be done, but we are on the right path, and at least our submissions are definitely increasing. So yes, we would say that in addition to the number of submissions, we have to look at the quality of submissions as well. But this is a process which is happening and will take time. So if we look at the geographical distribution, again, if you see, we have trends of increasing submissions from India and US, but we need to work on submissions pan-word. So that is one aspect that we have to work on, but you see there's a increase in number of submissions both from US as well as India. We have some patchy areas of countries submitting. We have, from other parts of the world, but this has to be worked on as well. Now the rejection and acceptance rate, they're about 50%. And the acceptance rates did rise last year, but now the graph looks better. So generally, most of the journals would have an acceptance rate of not more than 35%. So as our submissions are increasing, our peer review process is going to look at it in a more robust way. And I think we are now working, our graph shows that we're probably working towards that aspect. Not that we want to reject more articles, it is that the quality of the articles has to be more robust, and that is the reason most journals usually have an acceptance rate not more than 30 to 35%. Then if you look at the accepted or published trend of articles, again, it's nearly the same. Coming both from India as well as US, and other countries also are contributing to the JCR journal. Average time from submission to decision 47.6 days, from submission to final decision 76.4 days. This is again an area where we are working. The only thing is that now we have 3 issues. So once our submissions increase, we would be definitely pitching for 4 issues in a year, and our turnaround time should drop to 30 days. So that's the optimum that we should work on. At least the first decision we need to work to reduce it more. And then the final decision may be apt, but the first turnaround time to first decision needs to be brought down to 30 days. Usage statistics. If you look at the abstract downloads, again, good trend where we are in a process that more abstracts are being accessed now compared to 2023. So a positive trend is definitely seen here as well. As far as the full text downloads, again a good trend where the downloads have increased from 23 to 25. Good trend here as well. And full text downloads, the PDFs, again we are on the rise as far as 23, 24, and 25 is concerned. The total usage trends, phenomenal increase from the 23. So we are on the right path definitely, and hopefully we will be, taking this path even further. As this is the geographical distribution of the trends, so when we talk about the submissions, we noticed that it was primarily from US and India, but when we talk about this usage trends, we are seeing that downloads are happening pan-word. So once we are reaching out to the pan-word, hopefully the submissions from other aspects, from other countries will also increase over the period of time. So this is just the most read articles overall, and that's the. So I think we come to the end of this. I'm going to invite him. So Thank you. So that was the brief annual report. Now, I would like to be Dr. Sanjeeva Kalwa is not here. He had to leave because of his engagements, and then we have in our midst very senior advisors for JCIR. We have Dr. Sanjeev Sharma sir and Dr. Kapila Murthy, and we have been our guiding lights. And we also have now the Secretary, Dr. Nitin, and I should say the President-elect at this point, Dr. Amar. So I would sequentially ask them to say a few words. Dr. Nitin, please, first you, and then Sanjeev sir, please.
This is a surprise. Good morning. I wasn't aware that I have to speak actually today. But anyways, it's a great pleasure to see the progress of our journal, and it's really doing very well. And in a short span of time, it has come to this stature where you can be a proud parent. I must congratulate Shyam actually, who started it all, and his enthusiasm in pushing this through. And Naveen has taken over and is doing a human job in carrying this forward. Time now is for all of us to participate in this progress. I think this is time, Shyam, where at least the tertiary care teaching institutions who have DM students and their thesis should be regularly routed through the journal so that the journal academic content sees a substantial improvement. Publication is a good idea, but then it should not be for the heck of it. You should have clarity in your mind, what is it that you want to say and why you want to say it. Does it make any sense? So those 5 famous questions for writing an article, I guess, the way forward to my mind is how, CVIR was in this state, because I have been associated with CVIR now for over 2 decades. And it rose remarkably with an impact factor of under 1 to now the best in industry impact factor of 2.9 or 3.1 variably. How did it happen? So there were some things which stand out. One is your segregation of articles. That's very, very important. What our journal has to move beyond case reports if we have to actually sustain ourselves. At this time, the emphasis is elsewhere. I think it should change. That's the first thing that should happen. Second is that inculcates scientific discipline among the members and the students. And how did you do that is by doing scientific writing workshops. That's what CVIR under the auspices of CERSI did over the last decade. Actually, more since Claus came in, this concept of scientific writing workshops got cemented. That's what you should do. And it's a wonderful way, taking 2 or 3 senior people from the organization who have a reasonably sound publication experience and let them do a 1 hour, 2 hour workshop, engage 10, 15, 20, 25 participants and spend 2 hours together. So there are 2 types of workshops that you should be doing. One is the scientific paper writing workshop and second is a reviewer workshop. That is equally important because the problem is that the reviewer, who is the guide, unfortunately is not on sound platform. So no wonder the thesis which is prepared is scientifically not sound. You can correct this when the protocol is being designed. But once the protocol is designed and you have started work, then it doesn't get published because the protocol was weak. So reviewer workshops are very important. I have seen the reviewers for over 2 decades now, both at JVIR as well as at CVIR. And I'm sorry, but the truth of the matter is that our reviewing abilities are pathetic. 4-line review, 2-line review, very subjective reviews. The result is that, every review that you make is scored in the database there. And the average reviewer score is taken into account by any potential editor to choose a review. and we don't score very well in that. So the way forward is reviewer workshop. And how we do it at CVIR is that again, one editor from the editorial board and two senior persons, they combine to conduct this reviewer workshop. We select a paper and pass out to potential reviewers, 15, 20 reviewers, and we review ourselves. So those reviews come back to us and we score them. And then we present our review, how we would have handled if we were reviewing the subject, and that gives them a very major learning experience. That's what we should be doing. Every month, you should do one scientific paper writing workshop, one reviewer workshop. It should be online. It does not necessarily have to be physical. But in conferences like this, the annual meeting as well as the midterm meeting, and I personally very strongly feel that you should have a quarterly CME program in each zone. And there, a physical workshop should happen for 2 hours for both the reviewers as well as the potential authors. This will inculcate scientific discipline into all of us, and also all students cutting across, whether it's a fellow or a DM student or who, it should become mandatory that they will write one meta-analysis before they are allowed to appear in the exit exam. I have made it mandatory for all my DM students at AIMS. It was, and now at NIMS it is. Unless they show me the meta-analysis, I will not allow them to sit in the exam. The result is, now we have 3 meta-analyses which have been published. The last one has just come in JVIR 2 months ago. So once we start doing this, we will improve our abilities, and then the JVI, our journal will automatically get better. These are some stray thoughts which come to my mind, and I would strongly encourage all of you on this wonderful exercise, and congratulations to Shyam, to Naveen, and the whole team for doing such a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
So, thank you, sir, for those words of wisdom and guiding us. Now I invite
Good morning, everyone. So, thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity. The whole idea to have a separate JCI dedicated session was of Dr. Kalra. So, it was his suggestion that this be conducted in order to promote and recognize the contribution to JCIR dedicatedly to keep this particular session. So this session is essentially on invite basis only. So this is the first one. Going forward, I think it will be much more streamlined, and we will have things put in place well in advance, so that in the upcoming 27 conference, this will be a much bigger and grander event. So this year we have started again the JCIR Best Publication Award and the JCIR Best Reviewer Award. Again, I would like to thank Dr. Kalra for suggesting this and for initiating the award. And all the points that was mentioned by Sanjay Sharma sir, those are all well taken. I think in this year we'll try to incorporate that is possible, conducting monthly reviewers meet or quarterly meet on manuscript writing. And let me just thank the editor-in-chief, sir, and the editorial boards, and all the reviewers who have done a fantastic work to get JCI to where it is. The previous editor-in-chief, Shyam sir, and of course, it would not have been possible without the contribution of authors. So I would also want to thank all the authors who have made this less possible. So with that, thank you, and should I call Amar? Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Nitin, and now invite Dr. Amar, our President-elect, to a few words. And as Dr. Nitin has said, in the next conference, so we're looking at more, of this session, and this coming on the first 2 days. So,
Thank you so much, sir. So, indeed, good morning all. It is so heartening to see JCIR reach this level. I remember this being started in 2017, 8 years down the line. And those who remember the journey, it started with newsletters. So actually, Dr. Shyam has been instrumental. He kept running the newsletter all throughout the years single-handedly. And then, as per the constitution, if those who have gone through the constitution, there was a mention that we have to, have our own journal. And but over the years, there was people overlooked it, or probably we didn't have enough people. But Dr. Shyam took that initiative, and taking such kind of initiative when you don't have much support was entirely commendable job. And I remember initially when we collaborated together to finalize which publisher should we had, and at that point of time there was Mednow and other things, and still Dr. Shyam chose Thema because it was much better than that. So services, so he tried to balance out the finances and the services and everything, and he took it forward. And finally, when I see the data today, what has been presented by the editor-in-chief, Professor Kalra, so again, it is showing a tremendous trend. The way it is going up, we are, recognized by DOAJ. We are looking for Scopus, and probably the time is not far when it will be a PubMed indexed journal. So this is how it is like climbing the stairs, and we are doing extremely well. I would say something which we would be very interested, because we will be assuming the office. I can assure our editor-in-chief, whatever help he requires from the central office in any aspect, we will be very happy to offer that kind of help. And yes, the kind of suggestions what we got from Professor Sharma is really great, because I know he has been associated with all top journals over the years, including CVIR, JVIR, and he was in the editorial board. And his suggestions are actually very good, and it will have a great impact. In fact, if we can collaborate with different institutions regarding research methodology and paper writing over a period of time, maybe we can have a short CMEs that will really change overall how research is conducted, and finally it transpires and transforms into a form of a publication or a paper, and a meaningful publication. Because many times as a reviewer, when I see that there is a good concept on which research was tried to be carried on, but finally the outcome, the way it finally, what the results we get is not exactly expected out. Such a good idea goes waste. So until the research methodology is understood in the best way, it cannot take forward. So I would request Professor Kalra that he can have his team, and he can collaborate with a few institutions who have good DM and DRNB programs, and with those institutions we can have research methodology and this kind of publishing how happens, and similarly for reviewers also we can have, and we will facilitate whatever is needed from our side on online platform, or if on-site CME is to be conducted, we will see how we can help. But definitely there will be no stone unturned in that aspect, and we'll provide you with whatever logistics is possible through our executive committee. So that is from my side. Thank you so much for taking the journal to the heights. I thank all the editorial board members, reviewers, and the authors for contributing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. And yes, we did one workshop online with the junior wing, but the points are well taken. we need to increase the frequency of these online educational efforts, and I'm sure we should have one in each quarter at least. So, and we'll modify it in some ways, like a research methodology in one and how to be a reviewer in the other. And some. So we'll need the online platform help from the society to conduct them. Now I invite Dr. Harish to give his talk. He's going to, before we go to the last part of this today's session about felicitating our authors and reviewers, I'll request Dr. And invite Dr. Harish to speak on why be a reviewer and the reviewing process.
So, good morning everyone. So, this is actually a very basic talk I have made. So, I thought this is for the new student to get into the reviewing process and how the review and peer review is being done. So, peer review is a process used in academic or research to evaluate the quality, accuracy and credibility before the study get published, because it is very important to get good quality research work into this journal and publish it. Otherwise, what happens is whatever previously discussed, that the good quality study are not coming into the journal, or some case report type of thing. So even the case report should be a very good, and it should give new knowledge. So that type of case report should be published. So that's why the peer review is very important. And peer review, how it's been done, the expert in the same field review the research, assess its methodology, conclusion, and overall contribution to the knowledge. So just brief about how this whole process is going on. So first, author chooses a journal. So let's say author chooses JCIR and submit the article to JCIR. Then once author needs to choose the journal which fits his field of study, and he should read the journal's guideline before submitting. And now almost all the journal have electronic database or electronic submission process, in which directly the soft copy can be uploaded. So once the manuscript reached to the editor, so he initially screen the manuscript, and then if he finds good enough to go for the peer review, then he will send to the reviewer. Otherwise, he can reject at that point only, and this is called as the desk rejection. And this rejection happens because the topic is not suitable for the journal, or author failed to follow the journal guideline, or the study is already not adding in new thing to the already published data. So author can directly, editor can directly reject it. Then the author needs to revise, or he has to go to the other journal. But once editor decide that this has enough potential to get into publish, or this is something that should come into journal, then he send manuscript to the reviewer, and usually 2 to 3 reviewers per paper is good enough. But nowadays, even I am actually in editorial board of the JCH, and it's very difficult to find the good reviewer. So usually what we do, we send to the 6 to 7 reviewers, so that at least 2 or 3 of them will review the article in time. So after this, the peer review procedure started, and then the reviewer review the article. He look after the relevance and novelty of the submitted article, and then overall structure, readability, and the appropriate of source and the methodology. So reviewer has to check the everything. So reviewer must know the guideline of the journal, what are the guidelines of the journal, and the article is according to guideline first, and then he should review everything from the title to the conclusion, and conclusion should be supported by the title. So just the Sanjeev sir said that the most of the time reviewer just write 2 to 3 lines about the article. That is not the good. You have to follow the complete procedure. So there are different kinds of peer review: single blind, double blind, or open. In single blind, the reviewer knows the author, but author doesn't know the reviewer. In double blind, both the party do not know each other. That most of the journal follow this type of peer review, in which author did not know who is the reviewer, and reviewer does not know who is the author. Though author, while submitting the article, he can suggest few reviewer for his article in same field of expertise. So once the review is over, again reviewer has to submit this his review onto the journal site, and then editor can decide whether to reject, revise, or revise whether it is a major revision, whether it is minor revision, or to accept with no revision. So this happens very rarely that there is a no revision or the minor revision. Most of time it's a rejection, and then followed by the major revision and the minor revision. So if on the basis of the peer review, editor feels that this is not a good enough to publish in the current journal, then he can reject the paper and then send back to the author. Author has to submit to the other journal, and again this process will continue. And once the paper is reviewed and editor send decision whether it is a major revision or minor revision, then again it goes back to the author, and author changes according to the peer review, and again send back to the editor, and editor then again send back to the reviewer. So this time it can be a same reviewer who already reviewed the paper or the new reviewer. So after every review done, and then the editor-in-chief feels that the paper is acceptable, then it is accepted and then published. And then further processing of the paper is done by the technical team. So the question is, why to be reviewer? So we already heard in morning that the review will increase your journal quality, and it will improve the overall impact of the journal. And as a reviewer, so we should have some professional responsibility, like for JCIR, we are all are the Isvir member, and we have some responsibility towards Isvir, and that should be reflected in our research also, and that's why we are talking about that we should submit our research to the JCIR more and more. So the MD and DM student, they should try the JCIR, and once the good quality research come to JCIR, it will increase the overall impact of the journal. Second, contribute to the science. So once you start reviewing the process, you know the new research, you can see the whatever the new technology or whatever new thing is coming, it directly comes to you. And it also improves the healthcare quality, because these articles, they are not just articles, they will come into the literature, and then some other practitioner or some other radiologist, they read this article, and they will do their procedure accordingly, or there are some guidelines published in the journal, and then they follow those guidelines. So this will impact the healthcare of the society. So benefit is, the first and foremost benefit is early access to the research. So reviewer is the one of the first person who can see what is new happening, because this data is not published, and he is the one who gets idea about what is this data about, what is this procedure about. Let's say there is new technique of ablation, and now which is done in in some other part, and now he comes to know that this is something new that is comes into. So this is very important for him that he get the early access to the research that is not visible to the general public or to the other researchers. So by reviewing it also improves your appraisal skill wherever you working, and the another thing is enhance the writing skill. So that's why the review is important. Once you start doing the review, you know how if you get a very good article, then you get the knowledge that how the study is being done and how the protocol should be right. And so this is also important that if for the beginner or new reviewer, he gets a good article or good manuscript, then he himself can enhance her or his knowledge. So there are academic and career benefits of reviewer also. Is usually strengthen your CV, and many a time even if you last week only some of our pass out MD students they applied for the USMLE, and then for USMLE there are many. If you review journal or if you are in some editor board, then it will strengthen your CV. Then the recognition in the research committee, this is very important. Once you do the review, then you get to know the whole the process, and then as an author, your submission are also improved. And once your submission is improved, then your article acceptance will improve. So this will happen once you review the article. And second is for the academic institute, there is important to get promote and tenure support, and this is usually being done on basis of your research work. So just a brief about how JCI review process is being done. So once you send email or once you the editor-in-chief invited for the reviewer, the email go sent to you for having a review, and you get the abstract. Once you see the title and abstract, you can decide whether to accept or decline. So once you accept, then you directly go to the JCIR site, and you can see there are pending agreements. So you click this link, and then you go to the whole manuscript. So another once you agree to review the article, you get another mail. So from this mail you can download the PDF of the whole paper and directly see the paper and review it. So if you got time at that time, or you want to review later, then you need to log in on the JCIR site. And once you log in on the JCIR site as a reviewer, then you go to this page in which there are pending assignment, and then once you click the pending assignment, this page comes, and in this page you can see view submission, submit recommendation, and send email. So from view submission you can view the whole manuscript, review it, and once your review is done, you can submit the recommendation. So for submit, while submitting the recommendation, this page comes up, and on the first line, this is the recommendation page. So once you click this, there are recommendations except minor changes, major changes, and reject. So whatever your review is, depending upon that, you can add this decision to this page. So while adding this, there are two. If you need major revision, then there is another question that are you willing to review this manuscript again. So once the review has been done and author resubmit the article, then the same reviewer gets this manuscript. So these two columns are also very important. So as a reviewer, you have to write all the reviews starting from the title to the conclusion, and you have to see the silent feature why this article is important and what is new in this article. And another thing is confidential comments to the editor. Now many of the reviewers don't send these comments, but these are also important that what are the strengths of this article and what are the weaknesses of the article. These are the two important things for reviewing any articles. So once you review the article, you get the mail from JCIR for the thanks for reviewing this manuscript, and you also get one mail and for that your review has been done. And this review is added into the Web of Science, and you once you get that recognition, you go into the pool of the reviewer, and then other journal can add you as a reviewer. So in conclusion, preview reviews improves the quality and the impact of the journal, and good reviewers are very essential for increase the quality of the journal. And this has a mutual benefit as a reviewer also and for the journal also. Thank you. So just a last thank you slide.
So thank you. And I think these slides he'll never get away from presenting them because this is his art. And just congratulations to. Thank you. And on popular demand. So thank you, Dr. Hari. So before we felicitate our authors and our reviewers, I'd like to place on record the contribution towards ACR by our international editor, Dr. Sanjeeva Kalwa. Because of his commitments, he could not be with us today. Also, our associate editor, Dr. Matthew Cherian, sir. Then the executive, the president, Dr. Sham, and the first editor, Dr. Nitin, the secretary, the president-elect, Dr. Amar, and the rest of the executive members for being so supportive for the journey. And yes, we have amongst our midst our senior advisor, Dr. Kapila Murthy. We must thank him. And I request President, Secretary, and President-elect to felicitate him. Thank you. Request the President, Secretary, and President-elect to please stay there. We're going to now facilitate our reviewers. So, reviewer one, Dr. Harish. Now we come to the conclusion, and thanks everyone for being here. And as Dr. Amar is here, the president-elect, I would like to, before we part, we look forward to, and Dr. Nitin, we look forward to a bigger session in the next meeting, and preferably on the second day. So thank you very much.
So before he goes for the vote of thanks, yes, I can assure you that it won't be on the last day, that is for sure. And we'll try that it is one of the most attended session, and we'll try to send flyers, and maybe we can have some other point system so that people are there. And I would also request Dr. Nitin to make some point system in different award categories where people contributing to JCIR in certain way adds to their point for eligible in certain categories. That may again help people getting more into it. So I think we can take this forward, and in our different categories we can put a small 1 or 2 pointers where those people contributing in this, they get additional point while applying for different things. So probably this will help us in getting more reviewers, more authors, and more people attending the session. And definitely not on the last day, that is for sure, I assure you, in front of everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We come to the end of this session. Thank you one and all for joining us today. Thank you.
questions? Shash?